Morning, everyone. This is Kugler Landscaping coming at you again. This episode's going to be about weed eater line and the heads and things that you run the line through. First of all, I wanted to say good morning and appreciate all the viewers and new subscribers. I'm a very small channel. So it helps me out a lot, and I don't think as people making the videos appreciate or thank the viewers enough, and I wanted to spend some couple minutes and thank you guys today. So I think the channel's up to about 800 views and 9 subscribers. So once again, if you can push that subscribe button down under the video, be a great help to me and means a lot to me. It's the reason I'm here is for you guys. And it's a one-time deal, and I think a lot of people think you have to subscribe to every video. No, you just press one on any video to anybody's channel and you're subscribed, and that helps us out a lot. That's what we're here for, to share information, entertain, and that's our reward at the end of the day, is getting the views and the subscriptions. So with that, let's kick off the video. Where to start? There's so many things to, I'm sure I'm going to leave something out because this is unscripted and I'm just going by the seat of my pants here. Been in business 41 years. Used probably every kind of line you can imagine. This is some of my current stock. On the left here, we have 095. From Razor brand, Stihl, and Echo. The Razor brand is braided, and it has you can see on the picture there, it has 2 different kinds of nylon cord or plastic, and it's multi-shaped. This green Echo 1095 is round, so it has no edges. And the Echo is also sided. It looks like it has 4 sides, and each side of the 4 sides has a cutting blade out. And the lighting's kind of bad there, so you gotta watch the glare. And over here in the middle, the orange line is 105. And that is a copperhead. Guess that's the brand, and it's 4-sided. And then we have Stihl here on the end, the black. It's 130, and it's round. So what I found with the different lines, and it's you go back and forth on the different things. So there's pluses and minuses to all of it. We'll start with the 095 line. I think it's thinner and easier on the weed eater. So if you don't have a very powerful weed eater, it can whip it around, and then the different shapes cut decent. There's so much more to it, though. One factor in all these different lines is the temperature outside. If it's really cold, all these lines will break as the temperature drops. They become more brittle and break much easier. And then also the age of the line. So I don't know where or how you can check the date code on it, but try to buy the freshest line, because as the nylon plastic line ages, it becomes more brittle. So you might buy one that's been on the shelf or in the factory for a year or 2 or 3 or even beyond. And I've noticed that over the years. Once again, I've been doing this 41 years, so a lot of experience. And these are just my insights and opinions after all. And then also the type of head. Here's my favorite head, and the one I've used pretty much throughout my career. I've tried all the different ones in the market at one time or another, but I find this to be the best. It's an Echo Toro head. They're identical. This one happens to have Echo stamp, but the Toro is identical, and it would say Toro. So that's that. It's meant to run 4 lines, although when I first get it, I run the 095 line because it's thin and it's kind of tight, and as it wears, then I go to 105, and then as it wears a little more, I go to the 130. And then if you don't want to wait that long to let it break in, you can file it or Dremel tool and make it a little bit bigger and go straight to the 130. Currently, I'm preferring the 130. That's what's in there now. Line, that's the end in there, the black one. And I run it extra long, so the guard, I cut the guard down so it can, normally the guard would come up here at the end. Let me get my camera, I'm pointing over there. So the guard would come there and you could only run it to about there. So I run it a good, if you can see past the end of the thing, it's running a good 1.5 inches, I would guess. So in total, that's probably, I would guess 6 inches of line sticking out each end. And that also plays a role into, as the line's longer, and if you ever notice when you're weed eating and your line gets short, it doesn't seem to cut as well. And it takes a lot longer because it's got less rotational speed at the end of the line. So your first 2 or 3 inches are the most usable and you get the best results because it can weed whack whatever the weeds and grass much better. It has a higher, what I guess call a cutting velocity. So I like to run, I cut down the guard so this will spin by it. Otherwise you'd hit here on the end because the guard would normally stick up. I'll see if I can move around here and show you. So I cut it down like that. So when you're cutting, it goes past that out and gives you more room. So I take a cut off wheel and cut that off of my weed eaters and run the line a good 1.5 inches, 2 inches longer than standard. And that makes a big difference. And I find the 130 line, I've only had it pull out about one time and against something. I would think I was doing bushes, some little honeysuckles, and it pulled out. I believe that was this year. So I do a lot of heavy duty weed eating, as you can see from my line selection. And I'm also a one-man show. So this is all, it's not a crew using this is me. So currently that's my favorite I set up, is to run this Echo Toro manual feed head using the 130 line. But like I said, when you first get the head, the 130 won't go in it unless you do a minor, file it off a little bit so it can fit in there. But so I usually, like I said, once again, start with the 095. And so these are, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but that's like the razor. I'll see if I can, it's not gonna zoom in very good, but anyhow, it's braided and different shapes and colors and things. So what I find most important is the freshness of the line, the length that you run it in your weed eater, because most weed eaters nowadays come as a bump feed, I guess they call that. And I guess it has 1 or 2 lines typically, which after using this all these years, I find the 1 or 2 line system, to me, it's like a toy. This is a, you know, as you would think, the 4 lines is, well, it's 2 to 3 times better, lasts longer, faster, get more production done with it. So, and that's the name of the game when you're in business or doing things. You're not out there for fun. So everything I talk about's for efficiency and you know, getting better results and comfort. So who, you know, nobody wants to stand there and weed eat an extra hour today because you've got 1 or 2 lines. And so this setup works great as far as I'm concerned, and just suggest that you maybe give it a look and consider it. So this head here, even though it says it's made for Toro and Echo, it's wood on Shindaiwa, Echo, Toro, Stihl, every brand straight shaft weed eater that I've owned, I've had it on. In fact, when I first started doing it, it's like if it didn't go if they couldn't fit this on, I would always make them check it at the store. I said, you got to sell if it goes on your unit. So nowadays I just put them on and know that it works. But and this particular weed eater that's upside down is the Stihl one FS. I think it's an FS 131R. I know it's a 131R. I don't know if it says FS. I'd have to turn it over, but so that's that. So these are some of the current lines that I'm running, and so there's so many different factors. But like I said, temperature, length of line. But people get caught up, and you can have a 095 line, and it has the edges, and it does cut a little bit better. But if you're only running at 4 inches, and you run this at 6 inches, or whatever I've got it at, 5 to 6 inches, this will actually cut, to me, just as well. And this is much more durable and lasts longer, but like I said, they all do break when the temperature starts to drop in the fall, or if you're out weed eating in the early spring. So I would say you get into the 30s and 20s is when you start having more issues, but it's much more supple, all of it at 60, 70, 80, which is the majority of our work in the landscape business. So I think that's about it. So if you have any comments or questions, feel free to drop me a comment. And once again, please feel free to press that subscribe button under the end of the video. It's on each video and doesn't cost nothing. That's free. And I appreciate your time this morning, and you guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you later. That's it from Kugler Landscaping. Thank you.